I don't know if you're like me, but I fall for a lot of these little traps where people say that there is a system that you need to execute on, or that there is this sort of simple hack that's all you have to do is do this one simple hack and everything is going to work for you. But in my experience, that's never really what happens. What happens for me is I get up and I do the same thing every single day. And I try that little hack and nothing really happens. You A/B test your way, as some people say, or that there is a sort of simplistic thing that you just simply have to execute on that you've never seen before, a little switch that you turn on and all of a sudden everything happens. But in my experience, that's not what it is. What it really is, and the thing that actually matters, is an enormous amount of authenticity. That when you look back and you look at what you did, is because that you got up every day and you said the same thing, or you did the same action repeatedly that got you from here to there. And I often like to use the analogy of swimming because I swim a lot and I know just how painful it actually is to get even just a fraction of a second faster. You can swim all the time and your speed does not increase. But what gets you to go a little bit quicker is to routinely do it every single day. And you can go just a hair quicker. And you might spend years swimming just to go a little bit faster. And that's really what a lot of this actually is. It has very little to do with one little simple thing, that there's this trick. There's one little way that you can paddle or kick and all of a sudden everything changes. No, that's not what happens. What happens is a routine process of repeatedly doing things. Some days when you don't feel like it, some days when it feels really good and there's a sort of euphoric feeling, but many days it's just the same thing that you're doing routinely every single day. And I want you to sort of look at that and protect that inside of how can you ensure that you can get back up and feel good about yourself. So that's where you have to have boundaries, a support system, all of those things that are really incredibly important so that you feel good to be able to swim, to be able to get back and go. If you look at the people that actually become world-class swimmers, for example, they have an enormous support system behind them. They have coaches, they have family members, they have a lot of people that are helping get to the point of that they are a world-class swimmer. But here's the catch. That's only until they're 20 years old or just in their early 20s. Well, what do you do for the rest of that life? That's where you have to develop and become your inner person. You protect it. You develop things that are good for you that nobody else understands, and it looks strange in the outside. But you try to do those things as much as you can so you can get back up and feel good about yourself. Now, I try. This whole reciprocity project is trying my best. There's not one simple thing. It's a mess. I'm trying to build this platform so that we can get positive feedback that's goofy, silly, fun all the time as researchers. And so it feels like you have something to motivate you every day, but it turns out to be very hard to actually do. And so what can I possibly do at any given time? I had this long conversation this weekend, is just to keep trying, to not give up on myself and give up on this whole thing. And it's very hard to do many days. And so the only thing that I can do that I know that actually works is to repeat. And it might be that I'm 50 years old and all of this doesn't work. And 50 is not very far from now, or maybe I'm 60 and none of this works. But at least I actually tried. At least I went and I did it. And that's a lot more than what I think a lot of people do. And the only thing that you can do is to go by that little hope, because that little hope makes a huge difference. That's the only thing that really matters, is going by that little hope that you're trying every day. And sometimes over the course of many years, it gets a little better. You figure something out just a little bit, but then you just keep repeating it every single day. And I know that this is a message that nobody really wants to hear, because it's not one little simple thing. It's not a little trick. I can't get you to go into my garage and there's a whole bunch of books to read with a Lamborghini. That doesn't happen. That's not real life. Real life is getting back up and doing it again and seeing. So you could see every day that it's really about figuring out what you want to do and who you want to be by the time that you're 90 years old or older. And figure out, okay, what's it going to take for me to actually get there? And it's a lot of repetition of the same thing, doing the same thing, lots of mundane work, but you try, you get going, you put in the work every single day, despite the fact that it doesn't feel like the way that you should think it's supposed to feel. It's not euphoric or anything like that, but you put in that work. Swimming in a pool for 2 or 3 hours a day, or 6 hours a day if you're a very competitive swimmer, it never feels good. It feels good when you're done, but in the moment it never feels good. So you have to get into that moment of feeling like you're doing this every day and you're trying every day. And nothing about it ever feels like it works. It always feels ugly, but you try every single day. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day.